back. My next guest is probably best known for the television series Murder One. He also co-created and co-starred in Big Night, which was one of my favorite films the last couple of years. His latest film, The Imposters, opens this Friday. Please welcome Stanley Tucci. Nice to see you. You dyed the hair blonde for, was that for Winchell?
It was for Winchell,
which
yeah.
Is coming up.
Which is, yeah, coming up in November 21st, and then I did A Midsummer Night's Dream, and I played Puck.
You played Puck.
So I have this blonde hair now, yes.
If you talk about Puck these days, most people think you're talking about the real-world character.
Yes, I know that.
You played Puck in a play? Yeah. Cool. Did you get kicked out, too? Yeah. No, you idiot. You know, usually in a lot of movies you get cast as like a heavy, you know, or a mobster or a thug, and it's actually when you create a movie yourself that you've been able to play the more interesting roles. Is that your way of avoiding having to do a Pauly Shore movie or something like that?
Yes, yes, you know about that Pauly Shore movie.
You were in a Pauly Shore movie?
I beg your pardon?
Were you a communist once, sir? No, seriously, were you? I didn't know that.
I was in a Pauly Shore movie. Yes, I was.
I was making a casual reference. Which one were you in?
Well,
Please say Biodome.
No, I'm afraid it wasn't Biodome. It was...
The one where he's kind of stoned throughout?
Yeah. Oh, that one, yeah. It was... what was the name of the film? Oh, it was called Jury Duty.
Oh, Jury Duty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big hit. And...
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of times Italian Americans, and Nick can vouch for this, they get cast as the bad guy all the time.
Right.
And Big Night for me was, I wrote it with my cousin, Joe Tropiano, and we really wanted to try to create something that was a different view of Italian Americans, but also make a different kind of movie and stuff like that.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they always want Italians to be the bad guy, and the Irish guy's always the cop. Right?
Exactly, right.
Move along now. Come on, there's nothing to see here. Move on with you.
That's right.
Like a cop that hasn't existed for 100 years now. Well, now, I'll be having myself an apple from your store, you know. What?
I know, swinging the billy club.
Swinging the billy club.
Yeah.
Giving a hobo a little tap with it.
Yeah. They're all gone.
A hobo, thank you. That's another term.
There you go, yeah.
I believe we should go back to hobo for that term. I think it's such a friendly term. The Imposters is a period comedy.
Yes.
Which studios don't generally like a period comedy.
No, no.
Because mostly when you tell them it's set at a different time, they're like, oh, that's not good.
No, they don't like it at all. And they say, can't you set it in the present day? And you say, I could, but it really wouldn't work as well. But they don't think it's going to work anyway, so it doesn't matter. Right. I mean, I handed them this thing, and it's a farce, you know, like an old-style farce.
Mm-hmm. And it takes place in the...
it takes place in the 30s, on a cruise ship, you know, one of the old ocean liners, you know. A very cheap version of the Titanic. Really cheap. You
should build this thing as it's the Titanic, but comedy.
Yes.
That would probably, you know, the marketing people would probably like that.
I think it'd be good.
Oh, if you like Titanic, you'll like this. It's on a ship, but with laughs. That's the worst movie slogan anyone's ever pitched.
I think so, yeah. I think so. But it's, you know, I passed this thing around all the studios like you do in the independent studios and everything. And I handed them this thing, and it you know, it says The Imposters. A farce by Stanley Tucci. And it might as well have said The Plague by Stanley Tucci. Because they just said, well, you can't do that. You can't make a farce.
It's not going to work.
Yeah. And then these guys at Fox Searchlight said, yeah. So we had the premiere the other night, and it was a big hit, and we'll see what happens.
Well, we have a clip here. Do we need to set this up? It takes place on a cruise ship in the 30s, and you and Oliver Platt are
Yes, we're two unemployed actors who can't get a job. We end up as stowaways on this ship. But I don't think that's the clip. I think the clip is with Hope Davis, who plays a very depressed young woman. Mm-hmm. And she's one of the people that we encounter, this bizarre cast of characters on this ship.
Now let's take a look at this clip from The Imposters.
Mr. Sessendine, it's a pleasure to see you. How delighted we were to see your name on the passenger list. And I was sorry to hear about the death of your husband. He was the most generous of men.
That he was. That he was.
Wait. Wait. Can this be Emily? She has blossomed so.
Thank you, gentlemen. Emily. Thanks.
I've known her.
You know?
Yeah. I know what that's like.
I dated somebody like that once.
Yeah. well, best of luck with this film. And I know I've said it a couple of times, but Big Night, it was just great.
Oh, thanks. Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, it was one of those, and it was interesting. It was a movie about food, and you know, but it was very realistic too. Some food movies, they just have to have all these scenes where people are sort of equating food with sex, and they're sipping the spaghetti into their mouth, and it's really kind of, and this was just like regular people eating.
Yeah, you usually just take it and put it in your mouth and swallow it.
No, not me. I always make it a sort of weird sex act.
You do?
Yeah. Most people know, but I got to have my fun somehow.
Right.
The Imposters opens this Friday, and Winchell premieres on HBO November 21st. Stanley Tucci, everybody, thanks a lot for coming.
Oh, thanks for having me.
We'll be right back with Wilco and Billy Bragg. You don't want to miss them. Our show of the night. Do want to thank all my guests. Stanley Tucci, very cool to have you here.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.
Our thanks also to Mr. Nicholas Turturro. Nick, thanks for being here. Also, our thanks to Wilco with Billy Bragg. Very cool of them to stop by. You got your Andy Richter. You have your Max Weinberg and the Max Weinberg 7. Stay tuned for later, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.